3 must-know concepts of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Who is Plato? Plato, a student of Socrates, stands as one of the most brilliant writers in Western literature and a profoundly influential figure in philosophy. An esteemed Athenian citizen, his works reflect his deep engagement with the politics and intellectual currents of his time. While he wasn't the first person to be labeled a philosopher, Plato was exceptionally conscious of how philosophy should be defined. He significantly reshaped the intellectual landscape of his era. In fact, the way we often think of philosophy today can be attributed to him. In this video, we will introduce you to 3 of his most important ideas of all time. Theory of forms. Plato's theory of forms, also known as Platonic idealism, is where his philosophy diverges most from that of his teacher, Socrates. Socrates mostly asked about the characteristics of virtues like justice, wisdom, or bravery, but Plato wanted to understand the core essence of these qualities and things in general. Plato introduced the idea that everything we perceive through our senses is just an imperfect copy. The true reality is the world of forms, which can only be grasped through intellectual thinking, not our senses. In this world of forms, Plato believed that perfect forms of everything exist. For example, the perfect concept of a tree exists there, or the perfect form of a human. In our physical world, however, we can only have imperfect representations of these perfect forms. Think of it like this. Imagine a circle that's absolutely perfect, with no bumps or uneven parts. In reality, making a circle like that, no matter how advanced our tools are, is impossible because of the way the physical world works. But in our thoughts, we can picture this flawless circle, even though it can't exist in the real world. Plato also suggested that we have innate knowledge of these perfect forms. We don't learn entirely new things. Instead, we recollect or remember them. Plato illustrated this with the example of teaching a child math. In his understanding, we're not teaching them something new, but helping them remember what's already within them. Plato believed that the fundamental forms are already in our minds as perfect forms, and learning is more about recollection than acquiring entirely new knowledge. Allegory of the Cave. The Allegory of the Cave is one of the most renowned allegories in the history of philosophy. Plato illustrates in it the profound impact of education, or the lack thereof, on human nature. This allegory is conveyed through a dialogue between Plato's brother Glaucon and his mentor Socrates. Plato's allegory envisions a group of individuals who have been confined in a cave. These prisoners are immobilized by chains, restricting their movements and fixing their gaze upon the cave wall in front of them. Behind the prisoners, a fire burns, and there is a raised walkway with a low wall that separates them from the fire. People walk along this walkway, carrying objects. However, to the prisoners, only the shadows of the carried objects are visible. For the prisoners, these shadows constitute their reality because they have never experienced anything else. They remain unaware that these shadows are mere representations of objects. In the dialogue, Socrates then imagines the scenario where one of the prisoners is released. This freed individual would initially find the light from the fire painful and disorienting, making it challenging to perceive the objects casting the shadows. If informed that this newfound reality is the true one, he would doubt if it's real and seek refuge in what is familiar, the shadows on the wall. Continuing the narrative, Socrates envisions leading the freed prisoner out of the cave, up a steep ascent, and into the radiant light of the sun. This transition would be distressing and blinding as the prisoner's eyes adjust to the unfamiliar brilliance. Gradually, his vision would improve, allowing him to see the actual objects and people, and eventually even the stars, the moon, and finally the sun itself. Upon returning to the cave, the freed prisoner, now accustomed to sunlight, would pity and wish to enlighten his fellow prisoners. He would seek to liberate them from their confined existence and introduce them to the world beyond. However, the returning prisoner would find himself in a predicament. His eyes, now adapted to sunlight, would be temporarily blinded upon re-entering the dim cave. The remaining prisoners would infer from his blindness that the journey outside the cave had harmed him, and they would resist any attempts to draw them into the world outside. In essence, Plato's allegory underscores the challenges inherent in acquiring knowledge and the resistance faced by those who endeavor to guide others toward enlightenment. It illuminates the transformative power of education and the innate human tendency to cling to familiar illusions rather than embrace unfamiliar truths. Love, eros, in Plato's Symposium. In Plato's Symposium, we are transported to ancient Athens, where a gathering of intellectuals and philosophers, such as Aristophanes, Agathon, or Socrates, assemble for a night of discussion and celebration. The central theme of this philosophical dialogue is love, with a particular focus on eros, the Greek god of love and desire. As the evening unfolds, the participants share their perspectives on love, shedding light on its multifaceted nature. One of the most intriguing aspects of this dialogue is the contrast between different views of love presented by the various characters. Each participant offers a unique perspective, reflecting the diversity of human experiences and understandings of love. Some emphasize the physical aspects of love, highlighting the intense passion and desire it entails. Others delve into the emotional dimensions, discussing the bonds that form between lovers and the profound sense of connection that love brings. As with many of Plato's dialogues, the narrative takes a profound turn when Socrates enters the discussion. If you want to know more about Socrates, check out our video on Plato's most influential teacher. You can find the link in the video description. Socrates introduces a revolutionary interpretation of love for that time. He challenges the prevailing notion that love is primarily rooted in the physical realm, arguing that true love is a spiritual and intellectual journey. According to Socrates, love is not merely the pursuit of physical pleasure or the gratification of desires. Instead, it serves as a catalyst for the pursuit of higher truths, wisdom, and virtue. Love, in his view, is a force that compels individuals to engage in philosophical inquiry, question their beliefs, and seek moral and ethical understanding. It's a transformative journey that leads one from the physical to the metaphysical, from the mundane to the profound. Socrates' perspective reshapes the participants' understanding of eros, elevating it to a higher plane. It challenges them to move beyond superficial attractions and explore the deeper dimensions of love. In doing so, the symposium becomes a philosophical exploration of the intricate relationship between love and the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. We'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comments on which of Plato's concepts we should cover next. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. We've got an exciting lineup planned, including videos on philosophers like Kant, Hegel, and Schopenhauer, as well as a journey into the world of psychologists like Freud and Jung. In order to stay tuned, switch on the notification bell.